will all be tasked with driving marketing dollars further in the next couple of years. And one of the tools to do that is through brand partnerships if you can architect them correctly. So that is the reason for this afternoon's event. We've got a great panel of speakers.
There is no doubt in my mind that the Robinsons-Wimbledon partnership has been a remarkable success. It's really important before you even consider this to understand where brand partnerships fit in with the marketing hierarchy. The values of your brand must be matched and enhanced by the values that the other brand have. Ensure that your partner is an appropriate fit for your brand. It sounds so easy. It is, in my experience, the most difficult thing to achieve. The values that your brand stands for and what you have spent years and your predecessors have spent years building up must not actually be thrown away because of the behaviour of another brand.
Here's an example of how we are, using partnerships to extend the brand and reach new targets, and not just do our kind of run the business stuff, but also using these partnerships to allow us to do some extension. So it really does provide an avenue for creativity and getting outside the business. It's important that the partnership actually is sort of, people say strategic, but I prefer the word structural because it actually holds things together for us. For us, it's about product development, research, it's about this financial component, but it really is structural to our business. I've found that flexibility is important. You want to know who's on the hook for what and all those pieces so you don't get any sort of finger pointing. But flexibility has allowed us to get really creative with some things.
Ford Car's placement in Quantum of Solace is the leading Bond girl in the film, Olga Kurylenko, driving our car. Where she drives our car is actually the scene where she meets Daniel Craig, or Bond, for the first time in the film. The gorgeous Bond girl driving the car, and in fact, driving Daniel Craig in the car, he's a passenger. What I'd like to do then is to just give you some examples of the kind of things that we're doing specifically to leverage the partnership. We have the placement in the film, so we've ticked that box. This now gives us permission, we believe, with audiences, to do other things and then kind of go, oh, I understand why Ford would be doing that because they've got a car in the film. You line up for a film like Quantum of Solace, and it is a known product placement platform. You've got to make sure that you've got your exclusive and unique piece of the action.
Innocent was distributed in McDonald's, and lots of people went, wow, that doesn't seem to fit at all. Here is this cool, health-oriented brand distributed in a mass market, fun retailer. Why have they done this? And who was getting more out of this? The headlines in the marketing press and in the consumer press were all pretty negative. Why has Smoothies sold its soul? So there was a very negative point of view. But what we do at the Brand Partnership Consultancy is look at the facts behind the image fit and identify what was being given to whom.
John, I wanted to ask you about the BAV tool. Are the outputs solely what customers' perceptions are of your image, or are there any? Is there any way of inputting what you would like your brand image to be? Because the two aren't obviously always the same.
It is based on image statements, but obviously what you can do is select where you want to be. So what we do is identify what we call the desired image profile. So we run the analysis against, if it's a UK example, against up to 1,500 brands in the UK to see which brands would match that desired image profile for any individual client. So it's very much looking forward rather than just reflecting what the current status is, but it's based upon current consumers' perceptions of brands.
And certainly before you put lots of money behind it, start to measure it. because if you're putting lots of money behind it, it's got to be right. You know, you really have got to be very clear about what that you're getting out of it, what you wanted to get out of it. If you're convinced that you're, and I love your observation on exchange equity. You know, even without the WPP model, you will know, and that's why you started it. If if your two brands are working together, you will know that. And that my acid measure is: are our brands stronger together than separate?
I think you know really fast if it's going to work or not.
There's a very quick sort of acid test, which is can other people who you're working with see the relevance of what you're proposing?
Partnership, I would hope, is where, you know, when we take the Quantum of Solace example, Ford has worked with somebody who fundamentally understood what we needed to do with placing our product. We also fundamentally trusted them that they were going to deliver the kind of film that we would be proud to have our car sit in, and that people who watched it and saw our car would think, yeah, that works, it fits, it's not an overt product placement.
I'd sum it up in one word. The difference between sponsorship and partnership for me is ideas. Sponsorship is putting your name on something else which already exists. There is no idea in that, in my view. Whereas partnership is when you create something fresh out of two brands being together.
I think partnership, it comes down to what both sides want to get out of it. So versus sponsorship, which tends to be kind of a little bit one-sided. Intel and Microsoft is a good example of a partnership, because there's definitely a financial incentive on both sides. They're using us for something, we're using them for something, and so there's that.
Sponsorship really is the what. I think the most important question is the why. And I think if you're going in for sponsorship, it probably will be quite singular, and you'll be buying into their collateral. Mm-hmm. I think one of the measures of partnership type activity is it results in mutual collateral, so you do get that gestalt. If you're just buying off a list, just sponsoring something and badging something, we all know that that's probably the least effective thing that we do. But unless it results in mutual collateral, it's not really partnership.